Amanda, what's the, this is going to sound really dumb, what's the significance of this corner?
The significance of this corner is that this building, the top floors and the roof line collapsed in the Nisqually earthquake. So if we were standing here when that earthquake happened, we very well might not be alive today.
What do you think the importance of that earthquake 25 years ago, almost to the day, is in Seattle history?
Well, I think it's a reminder that we live in earthquake country and that these earthquakes have happened in the past. They happened in 1945. They happened in, was it 45, 49? It happened in the 40s. They happened in the 60s. They happened in 2001. Here we are 25 years later. We know that another one can happen and that we got really lucky with that last one. And while we've made some significant improvements in improving our earthquake resilience, like taking down the viaduct, for example, there is still a lot of work to be done. And I think most importantly is the structures like this one, the unreinforced masonry buildings. There are over 1,000 of them in the city, and only roughly 80 of them have been retrofitted. And that performance of this building is very typical of any other URM in an earthquake, and we know that we need to retrofit the rest of these buildings before the next one.
You just took like 3 questions away from me.
Sorry.
But why did this building have the issues that it did?
So unreinforced masonry buildings, let's see if I can, is there a good example? So they're commonly identified by like the arched windows, and then you can see every few rows, the bricks they're shorter, right? Like that's called a header course. And that's all that's holding these buildings up, is every few layers, the bricks are turned, and that is the support of the building. And these were built after the fire, bricks very fire resistant, but in an earthquake where there's sideways motion, I like to say the knee bone is not connected to the leg bone. So the walls and the floors just separate. And the parapets, the part of the roof that's extended above the roof line, those collapse outwards. And so in the Nisqually earthquake, that's exactly what happened. The top floor and the parapet collapsed outwards. And it's a very simple engineering fix to prevent this from happening. You connect them. And you can see the building across the street has the rosettes on the outside. It's been braced. The building next door has that as well. But the walls and floors all need to be connected, so the unit, the structure actually has some ductility in an earthquake.
And I believe this one's been reinforced.
Yes, so this one has been comprehensively retrofitted. You can actually see the big steel X braces in the window right there. And that's they built a whole new steel structure inside of the building.
So I know from living here and working here that there was a lot of emphasis to reinforce buildings right after 2001. How many buildings, though, have actually been reinforced since 2001?
79 have been officially recognized as retrofitted. There may be another 100 or so that qualify as being retrofitted. We just haven't seen the paperwork for it yet. But not enough have been done. And it comes down to cost, right? The cost of these retrofits is a burden on building owners, and there isn't an immediate return on investment. So it's really hard for these building owners to get this work to pencil out. And that's why at the city, we're trying to make retrofits more affordable. We're trying to reduce costs where we can, but we need help from the state and from the federal government to make more incentives and to honestly help with reimbursements for building owners.
I think a lot of people would be shocked to hear that there's only been close to 80 buildings reinforced since this major event in Seattle history.
Yeah.
With all the emphasis on the viaduct, and there was a lot of attention on replacing the viaduct, but a lot of these buildings didn't get reinforced. Is it just because people forgot over time about the threat?
I think part of it is that the city didn't mandate it. It wasn't required. It was voluntary unless you were changing the use of your building or doing significant work. And so, the city, after the earthquake in the 60s, passed legislation saying you have to retrofit in Pioneer Square, and it was repealed because it was too expensive. And a lot of these buildings are naturally occurring affordable housing, or they support small businesses. And as soon as you add on a price tag of retrofit work, then that increases the rents. And then we're displacing small businesses, we are losing affordable housing, and so there just isn't a lot of political will right now to support the mandating of retrofits. And that's why you haven't seen a huge uptick in retrofits, because it's not required.
Not required by the city to this day.
Yeah.
And you were just giving me kind of ballpark costs there. I mean, how much would this cost to try and retrofit 1,000 buildings in Seattle?
So rough numbers, we're looking at around $2 billion. This would have been a whole lot cheaper if we tackled it back in the 70s.
Or back after 2001.
Or back after 2001.
And you've gone to Olympia to try and get state support for this. What happened in Olympia?
Yeah, so we had a bill, it was House Bill 1810, and it would have done two things. It would have first developed financial incentives for retrofits. So it would have extended some existing tax programs, so tax credits. We wanted to explore removing sales tax from the construction of URM retrofits. And then the second piece that this bill would have done is it would have helped identify all the remaining URMs in the state. And we think there could be anywhere from like 20 to 33,000 of these URMs across the state.
That's a huge number.
It's a huge number, and it's not just a Seattle issue, right? So this is why we went to the state. Is Seattle is a leader in identifying our buildings and trying to make retrofits more affordable. And we're helping other cities. We went down to Tacoma and helped them with their inventory, and we're always on calls with the state to help share the models that we've used and share our successes and lessons learned. And we had a big campaign called Fix the Bricks that we tried to do social media posts every week. We had a lobby day down in Olympia. We had the Bricklayers Union supporting it. We had AIA, the American Institute of Architects, supporting it at their lobby day. We were asking for a total of $2.4 million, and understanding how challenging the budget is right now, we said, okay, let's pause the inventory and just create the incentives first, right? Create some demand for the inventory. And the cost of the inventory we were able to reduce from $400,000 to $250,000, and we didn't get a hearing. And reaching out to the sponsors of the bill, they said, we don't know why it didn't get a hearing. So it was incredibly frustrating and disappointing that on the 25th anniversary of Nisqually, we're not able to pass legislation for less than $500,000 to make an investment in seismic resilience.
Do you think people just forgot that this happened 25 years ago?
Yeah. I think they forgot. I think we have so many new people in the city that people just maybe don't know that we're a high seismic risk area. I like to point out, like Mount Rainier, right? The mountain's out. That's an active volcano because of the subduction zone.
God forbid if we were to have another quake like Nisqually tomorrow, next week, what do you think that would mean for the city of Seattle?
I think that it would result in significant impacts to our housing and to small businesses and our economy. It would echo for decades.